Well, I kind of got the idea of Saturday Night Stakeout. I watched an episode of Seinfeld, which is like my favorite TV show, and it was an episode on a stakeout. And me and Noah had been talking about doing some sort of comedy sometime. Like Trailer Shot was supposed to be a comedy, but it just ended up being kind of a thriller with a comedic twist to it. And I kind of just wanted to try and make a pure comedy. So I thought, after watching a Stakeout episode, that I thought, well, we should do a Stakeout episode. I mean, that has a lot of possibilities. So me and Noah discussed the different, ideas for, what the Stakeout was for, who the characters were, etc. And then we both decided to write our own draft of it. And Noah's draft actually became Robbing Mr. McCready, which we also filmed and released. And we did Saturday Night Stakeout the week after. And basically, the kind of humor that I like to write is this kind of absurd, like out of reality type of humor with these narcissistic and obnoxious characters. And I kind of took some inspiration from the Three Stooges and other kind of comedy duos because, just people who play off really well against one another. So that's just kind of like, what was in my head, especially during the writing process. Well, the thing is that we filmed that thing in one night, and I believe it took about 6 hours to shoot. So a lot of different stuff happened. When I guess I'll get through the negative stuff first. Um, because I just yell a lot for my character, my voice after a while just started to get weak and break. In fact, it was actually kind of early on, which got me nervous because I wrote this guy to basically be loud and obnoxious every single line he ever says. And I also remember this is not really related to the production itself, but just something funny. Is that we wore the mask that we wore at the beginning outside, and because we kind of just looked ridiculous. We were all wearing these jackets, and we just looked like a bunch of weird gang members. And we saw this car in the alley, and its headlights were on, and it was far away, but it was kind of actually starting to slowly approach us, and I realized how kind of scary we looked in these outfits. Well, not me, but Jake and Noah at least. So I was wondering if somebody was going to call the cops on us, somebody was going to try and just attack us or anything. Eventually the car went away, but I was kind of got us all worried for a bit. Also, I was always scared that because of my constant yelling that we were going to get police called on us. So it wasn't really an event that happened so much as just us getting scared of possible things. So it was kind of a nervous shoot for the first hour or so. So going to the positive things, just generally after the first hour, we kind of started to loosen up, and the more we got into our characters, the more fun we started to have. I know I had a lot of fun playing Mark because Mark is just possibly the best character I've ever written. I mean, he's just so narcissistic that he's just one of those characters that you love to hate, and this whole situation is just very amusing, at least to me. If you didn't find it amusing, then I apologize for not being to your taste. But yeah, just generally it was a pretty good shoot. I can't really think of one particular little experience. I think it was just like the whole thing after the first hour that I just really enjoyed, and it was just a very good experience. Yeah. Well, I felt there were two major things that really went awry for this that I really wish I could have done better. First was my direction. Usually before in this stuff like Watching Eyes, knowing me kind of basically co-directed with each other. So if one of us didn't know something, then the other could like pick something up. But now I was solo, and not only was I a solo director, I was the lead character. Not to sound like an egotist. So I was more wrapped up really with my own performance than directing, which is something that I do believe hurt the film a lot, and that kind of leads me to the second thing, in that um, Jake was not on his best for this. Now, Jake's a great actor, and he's the best actor all three of us. So I'm not trying to insult Jake or his abilities or anything. He's a better actor than me, really. But tonight, I think it was my directing, a lack of preparation, but this was just his worst performance. I think sometimes he was looking off at the camera, and sometimes he was monotone, and he really didn't capture what I thought the character should be. And again, that's mostly my fault, so I don't want to play blame on Jake. That should go to me. But I felt like those are two key things that I wish I could have done differently, or I wish would have been done differently. So, whatever. And aside from that, it's hard for me to really think of something. Sometimes I wish I would have directed Noah a little bit better too. Noah did a really great job with his character, and I think this is probably one of his best performances, aside from Shattered Dream and Gunslinger. But there were only a few times where he would either break character for a little, or say something that came out kind of awkwardly, or not the way I wanted to, but I was too busy, being an actor than a director, so I apologize to both Noah and Jake. Aside from writing and the performances, I don't really believe that I had too much of an influence, because Noah, like always, was the cinematographer, so he took main control of the shooting, and he was the editor. I think every once in a while I would say, I would like give him some ideas, like maybe we should do it this way. Maybe it'll this joke will be presented like this, or this will be shot like this. But mostly it was his doing for both the editing and the cinematography, and I think he did a great job, both editing and shooting wise. Uh, I guess I really can't think of anything that I had too much of influence over, and that's probably again because I was not I was not really being as good of a director as I should have been. In fact, the direction is almost non-existent, which pains me to say, because saying that your direction is non-existent is even worse than having the direction be bad, because at least it's there. At least the director was doing something. So this has definitely been more of a humbling and learning experience for me, directing wise. It'd definitely be the fact that I need a lot more experience before I uh, direct something solo and have such a big acting part. Because, like in Watching Eyes, even though I was a main character, again, Noah was there, and he would always point stuff out that I'd overlooked, and, Watching Eyes ended up being one of our best works. So, and now that I was directing solo and didn't really have anybody to help me or point things out for me, I think that really hurt the film in the end. So I thought that I need a lot more time before I have this much to do in our film without any sort of help. Oh well, I believe I've directed, I think it was four movies that we've actually released: like Gunslinger, Trailer Shot, Watching Eyes, and this. So yeah, that would be four. So I guess I'd rate it on a four-star system, like Roger Ebert. I guess I'd give this a 2.5 to 3 stars. I would definitely put this above Trailer Shot. It's so different from the Gunslinger that I really can't. It's hard to say which one's better. I mean, this one might be a little, uh, I think it's more well written, and that's not to insult Noah, for Ryan the Gunslinger. Uh, sorry, Noah. But I think this might be a little better than the Gunslinger, but I definitely say that Watching Eyes is better than this. So among the four things I've directed, this is the third best. On a scale of 1 to 10, a 6, because this really could have been a lot better than it was for multiple different reasons. I think if Noah had been co director like he has in the past, I think this would have really been, a really great project. I mean, compared to our other work. And that's really a shame because I think the screenplay did have a lot of potential that I sadly cannot bring out as a director alone, or at least as a director and an actor. So that's firm 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best.
Okay, those are all of our questions.
Awesome.
You've been great, and it's been fun talking to you and asking you. And I think that this may very well be a quite inspiring note to other independent filmmakers making similar work.
Oh yeah, I know I'm great. I know I'm an inspiration to millions of people out there. So, you're welcome, all of you, and you can send the checks to either Noah or me. I do not much care as long as I get my money. And thank you. You've been decent-ish.
I hate you so much.